favorites. The entire process was a lot of fun. I hope it was a lot of fun for him as well. This gentleman was absolutely new to investing in the Dubai real estate market, and he was looking for the best ROI before Friday. But the feedback that we received was that we want to stick to Saturday. Okay, we want to stick to Saturday mornings, which is fine by me. I'm happy for you guys to join in. Thank you very much for joining in. It's not going to be a very long live today, but I still want to get any questions that you might have in. And I want to use Instagram to fix my hair as well. Krishna is laughing. I don't know why he's laughing, but he is laughing. Okay, who likes this? Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All right, are we live on YouTube? Okay, so we need to do this. And we'll be live on YouTube as well very shortly. Just give me 1 second. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. All right. Okay, let's take some investor questions. Okay, this is a question. This is very interesting. Okay, so an investor says he's facing a dilemma. Okay, the dilemma is that he already owns 3 different properties in 3 different Emirates. Welcome, Real Estate Info 25. We took into account that you wanted us to go live on Saturdays, even though we like Fridays, and we might choose Fridays in the future, but we'll do another poll, okay? But since some of you had said that you prefer Saturday at this time, then, we've kind of like stuck to this time. Love to know where you guys are joining in from, Pakistan, India, Hong Kong, so on and so forth. Thanks very much for joining in. Okay, so welcome. So who's live here on Instagram? Real Estate Info, Abdul Basit, Ajay Natham, Haider. Oh, assalamu alaikum, brother Ahsan. You must be traveling. Okay, so guys, listen. I've got an interesting question here. Okay, here's the thing now. So this person, she's facing a dilemma. They own 3 properties in different Emirates. And then they're asking, should I diversify into commercial real estate or stick with residential for my next acquisition? Okay, here's the thing. You have already diversified across Emirates, which in itself is a good thing. So you've done something that's already kind of good, in my opinion, because you've already diversified. Now, if you're thinking, should I diversify into commercial? There's nothing wrong with this, but I'm gonna explain something to you guys, okay? 2 years ago, I did a podcast with a commercial real estate agent, okay, commercial real estate broker, somebody who's been doing real estate commercially in the Dubai real estate market for the last 10 years, right? So I got to know him in 2015. We used to work together, and he's a very mature agent. And we did like an hour-long podcast. And that hour-long podcast, I'll be honest with you, one of the key takeaways from that podcast was him telling me that, look, Fahd, commercial is undervalued right now still, okay? So commercial real estate is undervalued because when you come into the Dubai market, to be honest with you, anybody who's very familiar with the Dubai market, you can quickly assess where you can own commercial real estate space, office space, so to speak. Forget about retail, right? So 3 years ago, he was telling me like, look, commercial seems that it's undervalued. And then we saw the prices going really up after that. Now, I'm going to make a point to you guys that it's going to be counter for you now. If you're going to go into commercial real estate today, you're a little bit. For the guys who are worried about timing, not the guys who are worried about vision. If you had in your plan to build a solid, this is a good idea. Let me share this with you, right? This is a good idea. Let's say I wanted to buy real estate in Dubai and I wanted to build a portfolio of 10 properties. I think in my mind, I would say, hey, I want to do 10 residential and I'd like to do 10 commercial. So I want to split in between somewhere over there. Okay, I want to own 10 commercial. I want to do 10 residential. God forbid, in an extreme situation like the pandemic, residential is still going to perform very well. God forbid, or in other cases where residential rents go up and commercial doesn't go up sometimes, then residential is going to give me that extra pump, right? But that's because I have a super plan behind me, right? But if you, a lot of the guys, Fahad, assalamu alaikum, how are you? A lot of the people, they chase trends. When you're chasing trends without looking at value behind it, that's where I think a lot of people then falter. So if you want to go into commercial real estate, be my guest, but know that right now you're almost paying per square foot price double the amount, okay? Which is fine, because if you say, hey, Father, I don't mind, I'm just going to hold it for 10 years, that's okay. That does not absolve you from looking at who the developer is, where the development's coming up. Is it going to get rented? Is it going to get... You in commercial, you got to pay VAT, VAT, 5% extra VAT. Yeah, hello. Huh? All right. Okay, Alex Harmozy. I'm not sure if this is the actual Alex Harmozy, but okay. Hello, brother. Hello, brother, to you too. Sarah, Big D, welcome, joined. Hey, guys, welcome. Thank you so very much for joining in. Bismillah. There's Real Estate Info 25, Krishna, Muhammad, Amjad, Sarah, B, Sahil, Asan, Assalamu alaikum. How's everything on your side? Sarah, Big D, stars back to you. All right. Where are you guys coming in from? All right. I'd love to know. Okay. Agent question. Guys, this is a good question. Okay. An agent asks, this is a problem that they're having. Okay. How do I approach seasoned investors who already know the market better than most agents? Who can give me an answer to this? Okay. Muhammad Amjad Khan is from Dubai. MashaAllah. Urvashi Mayank. Acha, how can... Okay, so if you're not a seasoned investor, agent, how can you approach seasoned investors who already know the market? This guy idea... Is anybody give me a quick answer to this? Anybody who's listening in. Real Estate Info, we'd love to hear from you. Urvashi, Mayank, Krishna, Muhammad Amjad, Sarah, Suhail, Asan, brother Asan, how are you? How would an agent deal with seasoned investors? It's very simple, guys. Be insightful and bring authenticity to the discussion. Jazakallah khair. That's a very good answer. And I think you speak from a very humble space. And I'll explain to you. I'll give you my opinion, and then I'll shed some light on what Mr. Ahsan Abdullah has said. To be able to deal with a seasoned investor, you're going to have to be a seasoned agent, broker. And as he pointed out, be insightful means that you have to bring insight, which means that you've got to have experience to be able to bring insight to the transaction, which means that your expertise will count. The way you get seasoned is if you go out into the experience field and you day in and day out work with other people, and then with every transaction, every person you deal with, you learn and you become yourself somebody who's seasoned, right? But there's another part that he pointed out which is very interesting and good as well, because he's answered from, I think, his heart. Asan, you said authenticity, okay? And I'm going to explain this to you. Sometimes a seasoned investor does not mind dealing with a non-seasoned broker agent if they feel that this agent broker is authentic, which means honest and humble and knows their limits, which means you got to remember, if seasoned broker investors are coming in the Dubai market and they don't know too much about the Dubai market, they'll still ask you questions. If you fib, if you are dishonest, if you lie, if you make up answers, they can know. So what they'll do is they'll very quickly disregard your answers and you and your time. But if you are honest enough to tell them, listen, that's interesting, good question, I've not had that before, let me come back to you on this. And within 24 hours, if you reply to them with an answer, because you can get the answer from somewhere, they will respect you, they will ask you more, they'll test you more. And as long as they know, because nobody knows everything, nobody's seasoned enough to be absolutely perfectly knowledgeable, right? So everybody's learning. So as long as they know that you can be their partner on that journey, they will still work with you. Thank you very much for participating, brother Asan. I appreciate your answer. Anybody else? Real Estate Info. Okay. Okay, so this is... So I've got some questions from investors. I'm just trying to bring... All right, Gabriel, how are you? Okay. Okay, so this is an investor who has one property. Okay, so this investor has one property. They're thinking of selling one property to buy two smaller ones for better diversification. Does this strategy make sense in the current market? No, it doesn't make sense. If you've got one property and you're trying to sell it to buy two properties, your portfolio is not going to be diversified enough. If you said, hey, I've got 10 or 15 properties, and I personally think that you should not break up this property. Okay, there's many reasons for this. Every time you buy, there is a 6 to 8% fees of transaction, like 6 to 8, 4 to 8. Okay, sometimes it's 4%, sometimes it's 2%, sometimes it's 0, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 8. But there's always transaction fee to enter into a transaction, number one. Number two, there's always transaction fees to get out of a transaction as well. So you got to have a really higher calling to really think about it and say, look, I really should be selling this property to buy another property. And I've reached a stage where I really have to counsel a lot of the investors to say, please don't sell. Just hold, guys, please hold. It's too much dramatic stuff that happens in the market, which is people like to sell too fast, buy too fast, which is fine, good for us. But I think that people need to be a little bit stable in their way of their thinking as well. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Amir states, how are you? Hi Tariq, how are you? Right? So you've got to be a little bit more comfortable holding the asset. I don't know what it is. Right? People like to sell, people like to buy too much, okay? And then real estate, it's kind of like, even with stocks, I don't know, like, people who are from the stocks market, the equities market, I wonder if they would have another opinion, Mr. Hassan. I wonder if you have another opinion of buying and selling. I come from a school of buying, value, and holding for the long term. I don't disregard the other view. The other view is, hey, no, buy and sell, buy and sell. And there are traders who make money. I think property is a little risky to do that because it takes a lot. It's like you don't buy a property with a click of a button still today in Dubai, and I think most of the world. I think we'll get to a place where it's a click of a button. And you don't sell a property with a click of a button, right? It takes 2 months, 3 months of hard work to be able to acquire something in Dubai, and it takes some time to be able to let it go as well, right? So you've got to keep that in mind, okay? Alhamdulillah, I'm well. How are you? I'm okay. Thanks very much. All right, guys. Another question from an investor is, hi, my portfolio is heavily weighted towards off-plan projects. Should I balance it with more ready properties for immediate cash flow? Right, okay. I think you could. So the next properties you could buy could be ready properties, but at the same time, if you've got off-plan properties, just hold on to them, right? They're going to hand over within 2 years, 3 years, maximum 4 years. I hope you bought the right projects, right? So they're going to they're going to start transferring and becoming ready properties very, very soon, okay? MashaAllah. Asan is saying, trading mentality on average doesn't make money. Okay, so people who have more knowledge about trading with stocks and shares are giving this advice to me and to everybody. Okay, investment on the other hand is more likely to make money on average. People tend to be in for short, quick money, and they lose money as a result. This is so true. This is so true, right? So this is what he's saying. Trading mentality on average doesn't make money, right? On average, okay? So there'll be exceptions, okay? Investment, on the other hand, is more likely to make money. On average, people tend to be in for short, quick money, and they lose money as a result. So I think there is some value in what he's saying, and I think that for those who want to pay attention, they should be paying attention to this, because if you're coming in the Dubai real estate market and you're trying to bring in a trading mentality, you might actually suffer, okay? So it's just something that you've got to pay attention to, and I wouldn't recommend. Thanks very much, Brother Ahsan, for sharing that key thing. I think you're very spot on, okay? Oh my God, again, mashallah. So this, Assalamu alaikum, Brother Saad and Sheikh asks, do you think the property market will go down or stabilize in the coming year? Should we sell our properties before that happens? I want to hear this from the people who have other a lot more other market exposure as well, like London. Do people always do this there as well? Like, Saad, I respect your question. Thank you. I'm coming to your answer. Do a lot of people do this in London as well? Like, hey, let's just quickly sell the property because the market might turn downwards. Saad, I'll tell you. I'll give you a little bit of a story from 2014. Okay, so can I give you a story? Can you stick around for the story, Saad? Very quick story, okay? So those of us who were here in the market in 2008, just to let you know, 2008 was a complete bloodbath, but not just in Dubai, it was globally. Like, we had the global world had something called the global financial crisis. Lots of people lost money, so on and so forth, right? Okay. So what ended up happening, a lot of people saw that property markets didn't correct. They absolutely crashed the world over, and Dubai was no different, right? So people who came out of that experience, and 2009, the market kind of like bounced back. Then 10, 11, 12, the market started bouncing really heavy, strong, okay? But big investors, I know one who had about 100 million dirham portfolio for himself, his investors in the Dubai market. For them, 2008 was very, very realistically close in their memory. So when 2014 came around and people started talking about like a potential correction, and these were all in the reports, right? The big banks and all that. Oh, there might be a correction. I would say that some of them panicked, and then I saw them exit the Dubai market into the European market, because what they felt, their reasoning was that if Dubai is rebounded so well, by 2012 Dubai was booming again, then the European markets might not be far away. So they found like pockets of countries in the EU where on the surface things look really well. Like, you take a 1-bedroom, you refurbish it, you can get this much in rental income, and you can do this and this and this. So they exited the Dubai market, and guess what? The market never crashed. The market never severely corrected. Yes, the market stabilized, slowed down. There were a lot of external factors, oil prices and so on and so forth, but never crashed. So those people by 15, 16 were back in the Dubai market with their money, right? But this is the thing that you've got to realize. Brother Hassan, I'm seeing your comment. I'm going to read it right now. Fahd Bhai mentioned already the transaction costs involved, full circle of selling and then buying. So need to consider that. Secondly, timing is very difficult, right? So Hassan saying timing the market is very, very difficult. And I couldn't agree more, right? Because if you're trying to time the market, it's a challenge. I want to save these comments because I want to share them later as well. Because and then if people are concerned, this is what he's saying: either don't buy or start selling slowly. Don't go all in or all out. Yeah, your 2 cents or your $20 or your $2,000, right? Brother Hassan, thanks very much. Your advice is absolutely spot on. I can't agree more, because a lot of people try to go in too fast, and a lot of people try to exit too fast. As Saad was saying, should I sell? No, you shouldn't sell, right? You should be holding, right? So same thing applies from 2014 to now. People are going to think about panicking, but you're not taking into account a lot of value propositions around the Dubai market. So my personal opinion, my personal give to the whole situation is go slow and steady as you're building your portfolio, and go slow and steady as you're exiting markets. I personally think go in for the long term. Just hold up. Don't go in fast. Don't go out fast, because it ends up being riskier and you end up losing money. Okay. All right. Let's take one more agent question, and then we can close in on our live. Okay, this is good. How should I present? So this is an agent asking, how should I present new areas to investors who've been successful in traditional locations, but are hesitant to explore emerging markets? Data. Specify data. Show them that the market of Dubai, like show them how the Dubai markets. Welcome, Shanawaz Sayed. Show them how the markets performed over the last 25 years, okay? Show them the data, explain it to them, And you would pick up a few things, okay? Very easy, okay? You would pick up, and this is all available now on the internet, and especially with the help of AI, you can do this, okay? What was the price of a 1-bedroom in Palm Jumeirah? It's very easy to do. What was the price of a 1-bedroom in Palm Jumeirah when it was launched? Regular 1-bedroom. What's the price now? Take into account that it was handed over in 2007, 2008, or 5 and 6. Calculate all the rental income that the person would have gone from that property. And you would walk away by explaining to an investor that had he invested 300,000 dirhams, only 300,000 dirhams, that 300,000 dirhams would be 6 times its value today, okay? No, not 6, actually, more than 6, okay? So actually, even 6 is, actually, it wasn't 300,000, it was more 500,000. Yeah, 3 million. That 500,000 has gone up by 500%. Yes, it's taken 20, 23, 24, 25 odd years. But then what are you going to do? Like, this is not the stock market, okay? So this is not the stock market that prices go up. But here's the kicker, okay? Yes, there were ups and downs. Yes, there were times when the property maybe might have been 500, went up to 800, went down back to 450, then from 800 kept climbing year on year, and today it could be, you could have that property for 3 million. Yes. All of that's realistic and true. But what you're missing out on is the fact that real estate is a long-term holding gain, and this property would have given him a lot of income from that property, not to mention that the property price has actually gone up in the long term. All right, guys, thanks very much for joining in. Today's, as I mentioned, it's a little bit of a shorter live. Saad, I answered your question in detail. You shouldn't be selling. Do not panic. Things are okay. And I'll be honest with you, there were large investors in the Dubai market who did not even panic during the weird pandemic. They just held on, because I remember trying to put a transaction together, but for somebody who was selling about 16 apartments or 17 or something, 20 apartments, like a bulk transaction. But at the end of the day, the investor or the seller was a very astute, smart investing gentleman with his hands all over the world. So he just did some calculation. He said, look, at this price to sell doesn't even make sense, because my rental income is going to be more than this, right? My rental income is going to be more than this, right? What do you think, right? Real Estate Info 25, thanks for joining in. What do you think, right? If you just sell a property, and unless you've got a very clear plan on what you wish to do with it, I wouldn't recommend just selling, okay? Anybody agree with me? Raise your hand. Real Estate Info, Saad Sheikh, Yusra Uzair, Jamal, Cover, Mohammed Shah Nawaz, yeah? So if you agree with me, raise your hand. If you disagree with me, you're welcome to argue. Yusra Khurshid sent a request to be in your live video. Look, I'm happy to take people on live videos. You've just got to send me that message so we can talk to you, right? So we know that we're taking on somebody who's gonna ask good questions, serious questions, and we're gonna have a good conversation, right? So if you've missed out this, Saad, I was answering to you, bhai, don't sell. ऐसे buying selling ना करें, परेशान मत होएं. वो investor ने 2014 में काफी sell कर दिया, and फिर वो वापस आ गए, right? You understand what I mean? Anybody wants to disagree? Huh, Saad? You have a follow-up, or you disagree? Is there a particular issue that you're facing? Real Estate Info 25, do you disagree? Jamal, anybody who wants to disagree, raise your hand, make a comment now, or hold your peace forever. Shanawaz says thumbs up. Tahir 1278 Khan, mashallah, Allah Mubarak. What do you think of Al Marjan Island? It's a good place in Ras Al Khaimah. Al Marjan Islands, pretty good. That's what I think, brother. Like, I think Ras Al Khaimah is pretty good. Some of you who might have been there know about its the hotels and resorts. Allah Mubarak. And in general, Al Marjan Island had been in the offing of being developed for a while. Here's the good thing about the UAE. Like, places don't just stop, right? They might stop for a little while, but then they come back to getting developed, and then they do get developed. And once they do get developed, they go on, right? They go on to being Jamal Camps. I have a unit. Okay, just hold the unit, brother. If you have a unit over there, if you're looking to sell and exit at a price point and make some make some money, go ahead. If you want to hold on to the unit, go ahead. Like, it's you've never been there. Look, if you've never been there, then I can tell you Al Marjan Island is a few years away only of full development, and it's going to be quite interesting, quite beautiful once all the resorts, the buildings, the projects are fully operational. Right now, Ras Al Khaimah has always had a few resorts over there for tourists to enjoy. Those of you who've ever been to Ras Al Khaimah would know that. But Al Marjan Island was one of those places that was not fully developed, but it's been coming up in development in the more recent 4 years, and it's developing very fast, right? And you'll see a lot of things got changed over there. I just got my second apartment. Good question, Saad. I just got my second apartment. I want to sell one to put a down payment for an apartment in Dubai Hills. However, I'll be able to buy next year. Should I sell now or next year? Okay, I'm going to give you something. Depending on what building you've bought in JVC and where that apartment is, you would make a call of whether it would be prudent and smart to sell that one to go and buy something in Dubai Hills. Why? Because, okay, I'll give you an example. If you've bought in an apartment building that is not that great, and there's ways and methodologies that we apply to assess, right? We can always assess past performance of a building. You can do this as well, okay? This is a good question. Look at that developer, what they've delivered previously. Has prices historically gone up? How are they managing the building today? Is the building, is the smell really nice? Does it look really good? Do tenants love to live there? Are tenants paying a premium for their tenancy over there? Do they have good Google reviews? Is the construction on time? If all of this is good, then you will see more capital appreciation in those first two apartments. If one of those apartments does not fit that criteria, then you should sell one or sell both, to be honest with you. But because, think about this, okay? You bought an apartment, you paid some transaction fees of 8%, 4%, 5%. You will lose that when you sell this. And then you'll have to pay another 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% to buy this one. Fine, no problem. The question is holding on to this apartment more risky than the 16% price difference of going into this apartment in the long term? Did I answer your question, Saad? When you get that evaluation right, you will be able to make a better decision with more clarity. Sundas joined. Bhai kya hai? No comments. Anybody with any other advice for Saad, Sundas Ahmed, Jamal Ahmed? Jamal, I hope I gave you some advice. Real estate info, Gabriel. Okay, so Saad, I hope that made sense, huh? That was a good question. I think we should make a short out of it. Good question, Saad. Maybe I will answer that question online as well when I get a chance. Okay, I like that question. May Allah bless you. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Don't know where you guys are coming in from and what's the current scenarios. Okay, may Allah bless you guys. Thanks very much for joining in. I appreciate the candor. We'll do another poll, Friday or Saturday, right? Looks like Saturdays is very, very sleepy time for a lot of people. So we want to figure out if Friday's afternoon might work, even though we know or we think. How do I assess that? Okay. Saad is asking another question, so we give another 5 minutes. Okay? No problem. Okay? इसको answer करना है. I want to answer this in a video as well. Saad, I'm taking a question. Take a screenshot, okay? So how do I assess that, okay? I think the apartment I want to sell is not going to increase that much. I bought it for 850. Now it's 1.2 million. Doubt it's going to increase. Okay. Zahib.a says, looking good, brother. Jazakallah khair. Say Allah Mubarak. Thank you very much. Okay, check this out. Thanks very much. MashaAllah. La quwwata illa billah. I wanna say something. Saad, first of all, you're saying that you bought the apartment for 850 and now it's 1.2 million. Doubt it's gonna increase, bro. Just give me, like, I'm gonna tell you something. If you bought this apartment for 850,000 dirhams and it's gone to 1.2 million, you've done very well. Okay, you have done, mashallah, very well. In this scenario, if it's truly this, okay, so I don't know, right? Because you're saying it's gone to 1.2 million because if you're getting brokers to call you and they're telling you it's 1.2 million, but the actual transaction really might be at 1 million, maybe, I don't know. Then it depends, right? But if this is clear and you can walk away with, let's say, about 250,000 dirhams, I would then recommend going into Dubai Hills, but not buying something completed on a premium. Maybe you buy something off plan, right? Off plan, but resale. Okay, off plan resale from an individual. Okay, you'll have to pay a little premium, but maybe not too high a premium. Okay, or maybe you buy off plan. Okay, if you want to do a strategy, we offer strategy sessions as well. They're paid sessions. You're welcome to come in. There's links somewhere if you need help with life, as advice as an investor. Real estate info, Gabriel. There are some links. Saad as well. There are strategy sessions that we consult with, and you can buy them off us. Okay. Apartment 1 bed JVT Red Square. Do you think hard to resell? I have no idea, brother. I can tell you this 1 bedroom in JVT Red Square. I don't know the building, okay? But I'll do a quick I'll do some quick research for you. If it's the developer still selling right now, or if it's individuals. First sale. So a lot of first sales, which means they're being sold off plan. One person selling it resale. So no, it's a lot of off sale, first sale, and I don't see any transactions. Okay, but this is my opinion. Very quickly, okay. So I think you'll have to wait till completion. Okay. All right. Okay. Mashallah. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Good to see you guys. Real Estate Info 25. Saad Sheikh, Jamal Ahmed. May Allah bless you guys. Guys, there are WhatsApp numbers here. Some places. If you guys really want to work with me, I do help people buy and sell properties. Sometimes people think I only make social media for Dubai real estate. That's not the case. All right. Jazakallah khair for everybody joining in. May Allah bless you all. Barakallah feek. And I will see you guys very, very soon, okay? Many thanks, Saad. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Saad and Sheikh. I'm gonna tag you, okay? Saad and Sheikh, okay? When I answered, okay? If nobody else had any other questions, I didn't see any other questions from them. Yallah, bismillah. All right, guys, okay. We got stuff happening. See you guys later, okay? Take care. Allah Hafiz. Bye-bye. This is a very interesting client story. One of my favorites. The entire process was a lot of fun. I hope it was a lot of fun for him as well. This gentleman was absolutely new to investing in the Dubai real estate market, and he was looking for the best ROI. Before he ever spoke to me and my team, he had already interviewed a lot of other advisors and agents. Having watched some of my YouTube videos, he ended up signing up on our VIP elite